Hey, what up, everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War. And today I'm gonna be going over the top 20 epic troops in the game of Gems of War as of end of August 2025. Yeah, so we did this on the chatathon yesterday. Uh, with input from the chat, we went through the whole rigmarole of looking through every single epic and picking out all the good ones, and then, going through our list and picking out the weakest one, and then going through the ones we didn't pick and picking out the strongest one, doing polls, all that. Most of it, 90% of it is just my, top 20 epics, but there was input from the chat. Anybody could have been there. Anybody could have said, no, that's not right. Everybody had a chance, so it is what it is. This is the top 20 epics. I think, consensus pretty much, but mostly from my, opinion. But, yeah, wanted to do this because, anyway, I'll talk about it later. But thank you so much to everybody that was at the chatathon, first of all. You guys are awesome. You're never the problem or anything. You guys are great. You're keeping the channel going. Appreciate it. It's kind of like the light bill when you can't pay it, and then, like, you don't get your lights turned off right away. Sometimes you can't pay it, and then you have to, like, wait, and then you pay it before it's due again, type of deal. So that's kind of where we're at right now with the channel. I did my best this month. I posted every day. I streamed every time I was supposed to. I put out extra videos. It just kind of is what it is, I guess. Alright, let's go. I wanted to do this one just in case. I mean, it's right here. It's low-hanging fruit. We did the work already. Why not put out the video today? Do what I said I was going to do this month and post every day and all that, and then just to get it out there on the channel, and just in case, you know what I mean? So, all right, epics top 20. Number 1 is Rowan, of course, because it's like super awesome, and you use it in the beginning of the game and you destroy everything with it, and it's like the cheat code to the game. It boosts off of armor, does scatter damage, it kills everything. Get 50% started. Like, you can use it early game, late game. It scales. It's awesome. You get it for free from Forest of Thorns. Like, super awesome troop. Number 1. I don't think anyone would disagree. I could use it to this day and it would still be super strong and not feel slow. Of course, once you get like Chrysanthrax and Tesla and stuff like that, you might move on from using it, but it's really good at leveling up classes and all that good stuff. So great, great troop. Number 1 epic. Number 2, I went with Centurigon. Reason I went with Centurigon is because it's pretty much like a legend or a mythic in how strong it is. So it's got to be up there in the top 20 epics. So Centurigon here, there's a 10% chance to devour a random enemy, plus 10% for each wild card, then convert all skulls to ×2 wild cards. 25% chance to create a ×2 wild card when matching 4 or more gems. I use it mostly with like Zul'Goth. And he can do this like nice loopy thing. He devours, he keeps his mana, he keeps looping, he keeps it on your turn. He gets stronger and stronger, like the spell gets better and better as it goes. So really good troop that can take on, lots of difficult things, just as an epic. Bork 3000 ended up coming in 3rd. Let me know if you have any, like, in the comments. Let me know if you disagree at all, if I left anything off the list, if you would move anything around, what your list would be, etc. But I put Bork at number 3. It can be 50% started by just equipping the Mechanist class. Only 12 mana cost, yellow and brown, which is good colors. And then it just mana generates like crazy. Like, it blows up the entire board. It destroys the entire board. So you're gonna get, I'm gonna get 62 mana out of that, which is a lot. Like, 62 can fill up anything. Alright, of course it's a bunch of different colors, but let's say you're trying to fill up your Wand of Stars or your Chrysanthrax or something like that. They take in every color. So all the other 4 colors other than yellow and brown, 62, like, come on. And it starts, at the beginning of the game, it's not as 62, but and it'll get better and better and better as you go. 25% skull reduction as well. It's a really good troop. Mostly because Mechanist, 50% start, boom, everybody's up. Epics, we were discussing on the chatathon, the live stream, that a lot of epics are going to be mana generators, like the best epics, because, the damage dealers are mostly going to be legendary or mythic. So epics is going to look a little bit different with the top 20, and it's way harder to do a top 20 epics. There's way more cards, they're similar in strength, etc. Like, the mythics were easy to do the top 20, especially like the top 15. The legends were a little bit harder, but still easier than epics. Like, the top 10 were easy, and then it was kind of harder for the bottom 10. With epics, dude, it's like the top 5 are easy, but everything else is hard. They're so similar in strength and whatnot. We had to leave some stuff off, and yeah, so. All right, Merilith got number 4, the 4th best epic in the game. Does true damage to all enemies. It's only 6, but it's nice if you're like trying to get up a true damage team. I like to use it with the Ruby weapon, or any true damage like Tesla, Ruby Weapon, Queen Beatrix, Shagaroth, Venoxia, anything that's doing true damage to all enemies could benefit from having Merilith as its mana generator. It will chip away a little bit of their HP and generate does the same amount as Bork, destroying 62 gems, and then it gains 6 attack. So it's kind of like Bork, but doing more stuff. The only thing it can't do is start with 50% mana. So Bork's slightly ahead of it, because it gets up quicker and gets you going quicker. But I wouldn't argue if you said Merilith was number 3 and Bork was number 4. But yeah, I use this quite often. Sometimes people forget about it, but it is super strong. It's the 4th best epic in the game. Alright, number 5, rounding out the top 5, we have Baldur. Baldur is super cool. He's a giant, 12 mana cost. Can 50% start it with Titan. Can make your whole team out of 3 Baldurs plus your hero that's Titan class. Creates 4 skulls boosted by blue allies. The thing you do to make this thing work is you make your weapon blue. So whether that means using Wand of Stars, or Ruby Weapon, or, Osha's Tome, or Jar of Eyes, something like that. So just make sure to make your weapon blue, and then this team will work with 3 Baldurs. 3 Baldurs. Because the more Baldurs you have, the more times you can cast this, and the more blue troops you have, the more skulls will go up on the board. So it's really fun, it's really cool, it works a lot. I use it quite a bit for my low-level teams on like my videos. Alright, Harpy Mage was coming in at number 6. Easy to get, 2nd turn in power, 14 mana cost, not too high, and it's 75% started, so for real, that's not 14 mana cost. That's 75% started, so that's like 4 mana cost or something, or 3. So really low mana cost, especially if you have it fully traded. Conjures a Dust Storm, then choose an ally and explode a bunch of gems of one of their mana colors. Starts battles with 75% mana, with a 25% chance to summon a Blade Wing when an enemy dies. So all that stuff is freaking awesome. It's a really good mana generator, like yellow, red, you need that, because you got Leprechaun who's doing purple and green, you got Thrall on purple, you got Merilith on green, you got Bork on brown. It's like, well, what do we do with red here? Well, you got Harpy Mage. And, it's and you can get it super easy. That's the other thing. You get it super easy in the underworld. That's part of like it being an awesome epic, is how easy it is to get. So it's super easy to get. It's a really good mana generator, 75% start, blowing up the whole board pretty much, Dust Storm, and a 25% chance to summon a Blade Wing when an enemy dies. So it can save your butt too. So really good troop here. Alright, next up is Atlanta. Atlanta is the 7th best epic in the game. It would not be on this list if it wasn't for its buff that it got recently. It is now 75% started, so it's Swift now, which makes it really good for stuff like Triple Cafru, or just getting up Thrall and Leprechaun type of stuff. You get it up super fast because it's only needs 3 mana. This troop only needs 3 mana, and then it hits the whole enemy team with really good damage. So anything that's like easier, that you just want to hurry up and clear out, like you're doing your adventure board or something like that, or early pet rescues or whatever, early stuff, this thing is just like brrr, knocks them all down quickly. So it's the 75% start that really makes this a good troop now. It's got air link, it's got agile, it's a human, hitting all enemies. So it was that buff, for real. It would not be on here if it didn't recently get buffed. So I had to put it at number 7. It's kind of like recency bias as well. Maybe you don't think this should be all the way up here. Maybe you think it should be number 1 just because you value recency bias a lot. But we kind of had it up a little bit higher and then moved it down a little bit. And I think it fell right where it was supposed to be, like number 7 or so. Number 8, another really strong troop, kind of like Centurion, that, I use occasionally. I'll use it. I definitely use it. And, It feels like kind of like a legendary, not an epic. So that's why I had to put it on here in the 8th slot. We got Daughter of Time. Creates 5 Hourglass Gems and 5 Freeze Gems, then gains an extra turn. So it puts extra turn gems on the board, and then it gains an extra turn. You know, so then you can blow them up and get another extra turn. And then maybe that gets her back up, and then you cast her again. She gets an extra turn. She puts extra turn gems up on the board. Maybe that gets somebody back up. Boom, you blow up the board. Like, think about, like, Harpy Mage, who's yellow and red. And then you got Daughter of Time under that. This is, I've never done this before, but I'm just like, for example. Okay, so you got Harpy Mage and then Daughter of Time. You get up Daughter of Time, you cast it. While you already have, like, Harpy Mage is up, Daughter of Time is up. Okay, you cast Daughter of Time, she throws a bunch of extra turn gems up there, gets an extra turn, then you cast Harpy Mage. Harpy Mage blows up the whole board, which includes, well, first of all, you would take extra turns that you see. So you're getting yellow mana, yellow mana, yellow mana, which would start filling up Daughter of Time. Then once you run out of extra turns on the board from those Hourglass Gems, you blow up the board with your Harpy Mage, who will also be hitting the rest of the Hourglass Gems and getting an extra turn. And by that time, Daughter of Time's probably filled back up. You cast her again, and then the whole cycle goes over and over and over, and the enemy never gets a turn. And you're filling up something else that's going to do, like, super good damage. Or, you know, what about Marilyn? Like, Mistralis. You know what I mean? And then she gets an extra turn. It's like, geez, Louise, extra turn, Marilith, Mistralis, extra turn, Mistralis, extra turn, Mistralis. Like, you could end up doing almost an infinite loop with this troop. So, also 50% chance to convert a yellow gem to an Hourglass Gem when my turn begins. I usually use it with King of the Ravens, like a Fae team, I think. King of the Ravens type of stuff. Alright, so that was number 8. Alright, rounding out the top 10, what do we got here? Top 10 epics. Gargoyle. Gargoyle comes in at number 9. It's a construct. You can 50% start it just by doing Geomancer class. Geomancer class is a good brown class. This is a brown troop. Deals splash damage to an enemy, boosted by all allies attack, explode 2 gems. So splash damage hits 3 enemies if you do it right, if you hit the 2nd slot or the 3rd slot. It hits really hard. It's boosted by attack, which is way easier to get than, like, magic or something. Just kind of like Rowan, where Rowan's easy to get armor, so it's easy to boost her, so she ends up hitting harder, faster. Gargoyle, if you equip season medals, those used to be really easy to get, so Gargoyle was even better back when we were doing world events every week. But still pretty easy to get attack, and you know, it's boosted by all allies attack. You equip Medal of Seasons, and then it's hitting super hard and killing stuff. And explodes when it does it. Explodes as well. So then it's getting mana back. And then it's easy to get back up again, you do it again, or you put 2 on your team or something. 50% skull reduction, 25% spell reduction on top of all of that, and it's easy to get. So all those things combined make it the 9th best epic in the game. String Fiddler coming in at number 10, mostly for defensive purposes. Sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta put a troop on here that is mostly for defensive purposes. 14 green, purple Asian Goblin. Playing his little fiddle or whatever. You know, correct me in the comments. Silence an enemy. Explode 15 gems of one of their mana colors and gain an extra turn. So you're effing them up, you're silencing them. You could choose whoever you want, too. You could silence whoever you want, blow up, do mana generation, and then get an extra turn. And summon a Leaf Storm at the start of the battle. It uses green. So, solid troop, but not like, you know, barely getting in there at the top 10, I would say. The Bane of Mercy is number 11. Our first empowered converter. That was another thing about epics. You're not going to see so much like super awesome damage or instant kills or anything in epics, but you're more likely to see good mana generation. So this is the first of our empowered converters. A lot of epics are empowered converters, so we could put a bunch of those on this list, but I just chose the best ones. So we got the Bane of Mercy. I guess the Bane of Mercy is the best empowered converter in the game. So it starts with full mana. That's what empowered means. It starts with full mana. At the start of the fight, its spell is ready to go. So you can put it in bottom slot. It doesn't need to get mana. It's full of mana at the start of the fight. It gives attack to the first ally based on your magic. So 57 attack for me because I have 56 magic. And converts yellow gems to purple to boost the effect. Inflict curse on all enemies. So curse is useful when you want to be able to, like, poison all enemies, or you want to be able to devour all enemies, or you want to be able to, you know, do something to all the enemies. or one of the enemies or whatever. Like if you're setting up for a High King Iron Gut and like some of the enemies can't be devoured, well, you can curse them and now they can be devoured. Or if you're trying to set up a Scorpius thing where you poison them and then you do a lethal damage to them, well, now you can do it after you cast the Bane of Mercy at the start of the fight. They're cursed now, so now you can do that. If you want to web them so Web Spinner can do triple skull damage, then here you go. If you want to burn them so Fireblade can do its thing, well, here you go. So really good troop. Especially on purple teams, because you don't really want to use it on yellow teams. You kind of want to use it on purple teams, I guess, because it transforms yellow to purple. So good, probably the best empowered converter in the game, at least for epics. Fundingus, one of my favorites, comes in at number 12. This is like my pick, you know what I mean? Like I did Shagaroth for legendaries. I did, I don't know, like Flaming Oni for mythics. Well, Fundingus is kind of my pick for epics. I really like this troop. I think people don't use it enough. 14 green, red, Zacian, elemental, and goblin. So it's elemental. Explodes a bunch of purple gems, then summon either a giant toadstool or an explode stool and gain an extra turn. So good mana generator, check. Summons, check. Gets an extra turn, check. You know what I mean? Then it inflicts poison when I take skull damage, inflict disease when I'm doing skull damage. So just a good one not to forget about. If you're trying to make like an infinite loop goblin team, maybe think about Fundingus as your mana generator / summoner. If you don't have like Flaming Oni, I guess, you know? Even if you do, like they go good together. Alright, so that's the top 12. It was getting very difficult at this point to like put them in order and stuff. So it wasn't too hard to like pick 24 of the best epics, but it got hard slotting after like the top 10. So you could totally disagree after this, and I can't argue like too vehemently, however you say that. All right, Pandalista came in at number 13. You might not know about this one. That's what's good about these lists. They give you an idea of what to look for, what to shoot for. Pandalista here. It's 14 red, yellow, Shintang, Urska Construct. I'm saying like all the stuff now because these troops are kind of more like, oh, what's that one? I haven't seen that one before. So you guys know what Rowan is and what Centurigon is, but I don't know. Deal true damage to 2 random enemies boosted by Urska allies. So if you do multiples, you'll have multiple Urska allies. You can 50% start it on Urska or Construct. And it's doing true damage to multiple enemies. So I usually use like 2 of these. It's kind of very similar to Gargoyle, but just with true damage. 50% chance to ignore armor with skull damage and reduce damage from skulls by 25%. So 2 ways to 50% start it. Use multiples. True damage to multiple enemies. Boosted by Urska allies. So try to make your whole team Urska and try to use at least 2 of them. Maybe even 3 of them. And then make your hero either Urska or Construct Geomancer type of business. So you can, get it down to 7 mana cost. Just cast it a couple of times and you win. Alright, Venerabilix is here at number 14. You'll see this mostly in like Guild Wars, or if you're using Chrysantherax or some sort of dragon, you're gonna use it as your empowered converter to get it up quickly. If you can't use Kafru for some reason, if you can't use like Zarg Boompile or something, if you can't use Takshaka, you might want to use this instead. You got Venerabilix. It is empowered. It has 30% skull reduction. It converts all brown gems to yellow dragon gems. Dragon gems. That's why it's good. That's why it's the second best empowered converter in the game. It does dragon gems, which explode downwards. It converts a easy to put on the board color, and then it explodes downwards, and then it gives 1 magic to all yellow allies. So you probably want to put it on a yellow team. But one of the better empowered converters, converting epics. Had to put Veneratus like right up its butt because it's kind of the same thing. Just the only difference is that Venerabilix converts an easier to put on the board color and also gives 1 magic to all yellow allies. So I had to put it above Veneratus, who converts all red gems into yellow dragon gems, and that's it. But that's still really good. If it was just convert red gems to yellow gems, that would still be okay because it's an empowered converter, and if you have a yellow team, you could get them up with this troop if you're able to do that at the start of the fight. But this explodes downward, so it gets even more mana than a regular empowered converter. And then it has 25% spell reduction. Alright, Princess Elspeth, you might be surprised, but it made my top 20 epics. It's at number 16 because there are situations in this game where you don't know what to do. Like, we had a week where I used Princess Elspeth to get up Chrysanthrax or something in like, the Underspire, or I forget what it was, but it was, like, either last week or the week before. Like, the answer was Princess Elspeth, and a lot of people did not... It was Tower of Doom, I remember now. So, you don't need your Tower of Doom weapon, but it has to be on the team. So, why not use Princess Elspeth to sacrifice your hero, put a bunch of blue on the board, and get up something else that can then kill the Doom and kill the enemies? I don't think a lot of people, other than people that were watching me and students of Sinnycool, I don't think a lot of people thought of that. They were doing other things. But Princess Elspeth, I think, has to make it just because she comes in clutch ever so occasionally when you can't think of anything else. When you can't use Thrall and Leprechaun and Merilith and Bork and all that other stuff, Harpy Mage. Like for blue, for example. Like blue. What other thing helps with blue? Princess Elspeth. Create 11 gems of a chosen ally's mana color and kill them. Summon a Knight Troop. Empowered. Start battles with full mana. So... yeah, and then it summons something into that slot. It's not like it just eliminates one of your allies and then leaves that spot empty. It will summon something into there, which you could get a really cool Night Troop, or you could get a really crappy Night Troop. But who cares for real? Because all you really care about is getting 11 gems of a chosen ally's mana color and making sure, you know, usually use like with the Tower of Doom, we have the pure blue weapon, just so we know what color it's going to do. So if you have a troop with multiple colors, you're not sure which color she's going to do. She'll pick randomly. So you kind of want to do a pure, like, troop or weapon, so you know which color she's going to do. So it was blue in that instance. Alright, so that's the top 16. We got 4 more to go, and then we got some honorable mentions here for the top 20 epics. Moon Rabbit made the list. It's number 17. Convert all blue gems to yellow, give life to all other allies, then bless the first ally. So it's an empower converter, but it also does other things too. It's giving life to all other allies, it's blessing the first ally, it's got 25% spell reduction, so it beats out other empowered converters. I also use it like on certain teams, so, and it's a cute bunny. It's an albino bunny. Tricknala is one of the best empowered converters. 12 red, yellow, Groshnak Orc. Inflict Hunter's Mark on the first enemy, then convert all green gems to skulls. That just goes together very well. You're Hunter's Marking the first enemy, and then you're turning green to skull, and you're getting a bunch of skull damage. Now that's hitting even harder because of Hunter's Mark. And then you get an extra turn because you're only going to cast it when green converts to skulls and gives you an extra turn, so now it's still your turn. And it's empowered, and it's agile, so... had to put this thing on there. We're kind of... it was either this or, like, Timberwolf, or this or Spider Throne. Like, I'm not leaving off, like, crazy, awesome epics. Alright, Mercy was the troop that the chat voted in, which I think was a good addition. It was kind of like Yao Gui for the legendaries, or Queen Titania for the legendaries. Like, shout out, salute to Mercy. I don't use it as much anymore, but I think it deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, if you will. 12 blue, green, White Helm Divine, give life to the weakest ally. Transform purple gems to yellow to boost the effect. Cleanse all allies. So it's kind of like the opposite of Bane of Mercy, right? Start battles with full mana. Plus the person that suggested it was Beg for Mercy. So Beg for Mercy got the Bane of Mercy and Mercy on the top 20 epics. Fist of Zorn is rounding out the top 20. If we're going to put Tricknala on here, we pretty much have to put Fist of Zorn on here. It's kind of like Venbaralix and Veneratus. So Fist of Zorn rounds out the top 20. It's the last of the top 20 epics. It is similar to Tricknala in that it converts all yellow gems to skulls and gives 30 attack to the first ally. So another like synergetic spell. Putting skulls up there, you're hitting with skulls, you're giving more attack to your first ally, who is the one that is hitting with the skulls. Alright, so let's check out these honorable mentions. Are you thinking of any in the back of your head that I didn't put on here? Well, maybe they're right here. We'll see. I don't know, shout it out in the comments. Or say, hey, yeah, that's a great list. Or say, hey, I would have done this. Or say, hey, why'd you leave off that? Or say, hey, this shouldn't be here, it should be there. Like, say that in the comments. It helps a lot. Especially if you watch this far. Alright, the honorable mentions are Forest Troll, Inari, Shocktopus, and Merklurk. So we did a poll of the weakest 4 on my top 20, and these 3 right here were on that list. And then the one that won is obviously not here anymore. It was... Who was it? Which one lost? I can't remember now. I don't know. You have to watch the chatathon. That's the whole point of this. Like, if you want more information, if you want to see how the list was created, if you want to see the discussion with the chat, if you want to see the polls and everything, you go watch the chatathon. If you just want a quick video that just tells you the top 20 epics, then you watch this one. But yeah, couldn't leave Forest Troll off here. Truffle Shuffle and kind of like Salute, Hall of Fame, Mercy type of stuff. Inari, another strong and powered converter. It's not just doing green to blue, it's doing green gems to spirit gems, which drain the enemy team and helps a lot. Shocktopus, really good early game troop that does true damage to all enemies, as long as the enemy team is like all the same color. Think about like Vault Keys, for example, where 3 of them are red. And we have Merklurk and Dirk, who just is shiny. It's got an extra turn, wish gems, could do true damage. So it's there, it's close. So I wouldn't argue if you said Merklurk and Dirk should be number 20 or something like that. Or if you said you know, Fist of Zorn should not make the list at all. I wouldn't argue with you, but put it in the comments. Alright, a little bit of, you know, at the end here. The chatathon was great. Everybody there, you're awesome. You're not the problem. You guys are keeping the channel going. But yeah, we're in that situation now where we did not pay the light bill. So, you know, the lights aren't going off, like, right now, like tomorrow or the next day. But if we don't pay it next time, they're going off. So keep the lights on, the doors open. I always say, well, you know, we came up short a little bit. We needed a home run. We needed a grand slam. We needed a Hail Mary touchdown. We needed a full court shot. And we kind of just hit a double. Maybe a triple, maybe. It was close. It was like a double that we hit. The first chatathon that's ever failed for real. Yesterday, it was kind of, you know, depressing after the fact. You know, I was down quite a bit. And even people in real life asking me what's wrong and stuff like that. Well, been doing this for 8 years, and man, the 26th one is the one that fails. Like, you could say that on the other side of the coin, though. Like, we made it that far. Like, that's awesome. We made it 26, and we're doing it every month. Like, we got to give ourselves a break here. Like, we can't do a chatathon every month and expect it to go the whole way. But but also, on the other side, it was only 6 hours. It wasn't 8 or 9 or 10. But it was turned up. But think about inflation. Like, you go to the store, everything's twice as much these days. So, I'm sorry, but it kind of has to be what it has to be. But also, I can say, it used to be 20, and now it's 30. And if it was still 20, we would have made it. So I can keep making these excuses and stuff, but I kind of feel like I'm in this, like, I'm almost addicted to YouTube at this point. And it's kind of like I'm getting strung along a little bit. You ever been with somebody and they're just stringing you along? And it's kind of like ruining your life, kind of. Like, I could be doing something else, but I'm getting strung along. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like that. Not with you guys, but kind of with myself and with YouTube and stuff like that. Like, you guys aren't doing anything wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't think I'm throwing shade or anything. That's how I'm starting to feel, like, deep down, is that, you know, I'm an idiot and why am I still doing this type of stuff? Like, it's not getting better. It's YouTube, like, as far as YouTube goes, like, it never gets better for real. Like, anybody, no matter who you are, it goes up and then it goes down. Doesn't matter how good you are at it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, you could be Kai Cenat, you could be Mr. Beast. You know, it doesn't really matter. Eventually, it's going to go down, no matter who you are. It's just ours was a little bit quicker and a little bit more sharp. You know, we went up for 2 years, and then we went down for 2 years instead of over 20 years or something. You know, it's cool. You know, I accomplished my goal of pretty much making money off of video games, but I was hoping it would be something more, and I could make it a career or something one day. But we'll see, y'all. You know, if I always do this, and it's usually like, oh, I hope this, I don't know. Like, every time I do one of these, like, crying, bitching, you know, monologues, it feels like I'm trying to still revitalize the channel by letting you know, and, like, maybe you will rally and stuff like that, but I don't know. One of these days, though, I'm just going to stop posting, but I'll let y'all know for sure. Like, I'm not going to be one of those that just stops and you never hear from me again. I'll probably make some sort of video just explaining the whole thing at some point. But anyway, right now, as far as it goes right now, the light bill didn't get paid. we are hoping we can pay it before they turn the lights off, type of stuff. So next month is going to be very crucial. The bad thing is, like, it turns into this vicious cycle where now I don't have enough, so I have to do other things to make up the difference. And doing other things to make up the difference takes time away from YouTube. Taking time away from YouTube means that YouTube does worse, which means the next time we get less, which means the next time I got to make up the difference even more, which means I can't spend as much even more time on YouTube. I can spend less time on YouTube now, which means that YouTube does worse, which means I need to make up even more of the difference, which means I got to do other things even more, which means I can't do YouTube as much. And it's like this vicious cycle that's I've been holding off for a very long time now, probably for at least a year. And I know people are going to say, do what you do, have fun, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, eventually it's like, go get a 9 to 5, 40-hour-a-week job and not post at all. It's not going to be like both. But anyway, I'm bitching, I'm moaning. I'm trying to do it at the end of the video so only the real ones that understand and have sympathy and empathy and all that can hear it, instead of like the fly by night, fly by the pants, you know. Like, think about the legendary top 20 that we did. That's an awesome freaking video that people should watch. They should want to know what's the best legendaries, but it hasn't even hit 300 views yet. The top 20 mythics, 500 views or something instead of like 1,000. Like, everything's getting like half of what it should get right now, and everything in the world is costing twice as much as it should cost right now. So, you know, some people don't want to admit it, but Gems of War is slowly dying. You just look at all the other channels that they're doing better. Some of them are doing better than me, some of them are doing worse than me, but everybody across the board is posting less and doing less because it's not worth it as much anymore. But I don't know. Just let you know, keep us around. If you like, we're an endangered species. You better intervene. Is all I'm saying. It's the last day of the month. Maybe a angel will come down from heaven and put it off for another month or two, but I doubt it. So anyway, thanks for letting me vent. Thanks for letting me bitch. Like, share, subscribe, consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel down below, and I'll see y'all next time, which is, I don't know, probably tomorrow. Peace.